two pretty good teams trading blows. When we beat them at Muncie, they clearly did not have their best night, and that had something to do with us. Tonight, I thought they played very, very well, hit a ton of timely, big shots. Can't say enough about the big shots that Gavin made, and the way we tightened up on defense down the final stretch there. Jason coming out of the locker room at halftime, I bumped into him before we left the locker room. I said, "What can I do to get you more involved?" He had 2 shots. And he said, "No, we're doing the right stuff. I got to get more aggressive." And by the first media, he had 10 points. So that's a pretty good response by him. And then another kind of hidden gem in this game. Obviously, Jay was extremely poised, running the show down the stretch, just really creating for everybody. But TK, the job he did on Persons late, that's generally been Antonio's role this year. But I just felt tonight that TK was having a little more success against him. So even when Antonio went back in the game, we slid him over to somebody else and we let TK roll on a very good guard for a while. So again, staying locked in. Our turnover numbers have been down recently. Our shooting has been up. I like the direction this is heading right now.
So you guys didn't give Jason a butt chew on or anything like that?
No, Jason isn't the kind of guy that really needs a butt chewing.
The switch was flipped. First half to second.
He was upset, but he's the kind of guy that internalizes his upset. He gets upset with himself, and he's the last person to ever blame anyone else. And he was a man on a mission in that second half. There's no question about that. But all the motivation there came from himself. He's never, ever, since I've known him, ever needed a fire lit under him. His fire goes pretty good all the time.
Coach, you opened talking about how great of a game it was, and it ended up as a great game, but the first kind of like 12 minutes were really sloppy on both ends. What do you think was like kind of a spark for both teams to really get going offensively and just play a much prettier game of basketball?
Well, we had to make some shots. We took a lot of threes and missed them. We only turned it over 12 times, so it couldn't have got that sloppy. For us, sloppy means, to me, we're turning it over. And I thought, you know what, I thought they came out with a lot of fire defensively, and I thought we did too. I think in the first 10, 15 minutes of the game, you just saw 2 teams going at each other pretty hard, and sometimes that's not as appealing to everyone. I kind of like it. I kind of enjoy that. I'll enjoy that 15 minutes as much as I enjoyed the going back and forth trading buckets. That's fun to me.
The Gavin shot that put you ahead at the end, is that kind of a textbook example of the possession that you're talking about, trying to get your guys to play offensively?
And
Describe what that felt like to see that happen.
yeah. Gavin made a huge shot, but all Gavin had to do was make the shot. He didn't have to create the shot. He didn't have to, and to take the pressure off the person who's shooting it from having to create it as well is the destination we're trying to get to. You saw it some tonight. Not as much as the other night. You saw some great individual effort tonight, though, as well. And we also had some funky lineups out there with some foul trouble. So we battled through it and got a win. And I know this is that 3 and 4 looks a lot better in the league standings than 2 and 5 does. That was a huge win from that standpoint. So I'll actually call a win huge. How's that sound, Arkley? You got your headline.
Kind of going off that, do you think these 2 games have like a snowball effect right now? Just Antonio's playing well, Jason Preston's playing as well as he has all season.
Gavin's playing as well as he's playing. Gavin's playing like a senior. You can talk all day as a coach. At some point, you have to have success to truly have confidence, to truly have swagger. And to have that is one thing. To have it when they're hitting big shot after big shot and still saying, no, we're going to get this, that's a big part of the learning curve for us. I thought our execution down the stretch was excellent.
How are you evaluating Connor Burrell right now? I mean, he only played in 12 minutes, but they seem like valuable minutes.
he's been trending that direction, and unfortunately, it took a teammate going down to maybe get those minutes that he had earned. But if you look at the last two games alone, that possession between Gavin, James, and Connor have been a big catalyst moving us forward offensively. They've just been efficient. They've been good. They've knocked down appropriate shots. That helps, because for a while there we weren't getting much from that spot. And you know what? Some of that was probably system-based. I was trying to run everything through TK and through Jason early in the season, and maybe slamming that square peg into a round hole a little bit too hard. When we let go a little bit and decided to take a little different direction, it's gotten a lot better.
Did Jason Carter kind of look like old Jason Carter to you? Gavin admitted it. I personally, you can have your own opinion, of course, but Jason Carter, second half of freshman year.
Yeah, and he's done that before this year. There's no question. I think the Marshall game, he was, when he's really good, he's really, really good. And some of those finishes that he has with the ball out away from his body, with his length and his strength and his ability to get off the floor, are really difficult to get at. If you've got a shot that you can get to, that you hit at a regular basis, that is that difficult to defend, now you've got a foothold. Now you've got something to build on. And he's a really good player. He's just a really good player. It's hard for me to not look at his shot attempts and say it needs to be more. But again, some of the trade-off you make in a motion-based system means I don't allocate where the shot goes anymore, and our guys have to learn to get that worked out.
Doug Taylor ran into some early foul trouble in that game, but Ben stepped in and filled that role as kind of the rim protector very well. 12 rebounds off the bench. He's found a lot of ways to affect the game despite being a shooting slump as well.
Yeah, and it's for a young player that shoots the ball well, for them to be productive when the ball's not necessarily going in at a high rate for them, that speaks volumes to them. It's tough for any freshman big to cut their teeth, and Doug did it behind Antonio, so you didn't see that learning curve with him as much. Ben's doing it out in front of the whole world, and there's a lot of times where I don't want Jason on their five because I don't want him expending that energy in that way at that time. So it's been, go get him, Ben, and he's done a really good job with it. His dad was a pretty good defender back in the day.
Talk about lowering turnovers. Nobody with more than 3 turnovers tonight. How crucial was it to not give the ball to Ball State and give them quick opportunities?
Well, and they were really running early on too. I mean, they clearly came in with transition offense, and they've been doing that fairly consistently lately. They caught us by surprise a couple times early. Not by surprise, they caught us flat-footed. Yeah, if you can limit live ball turnovers, it assures that you play 5-on-5 the majority of the game. And when we play 5-on-5 defensively, we can be tough to score on.
TK seemed to be a little more aggressive from 3 tonight. Is that something you guys preached to him, or is that something he did on his own?
Ball happened to get swung. I thought Ben turned down an open 3 to make the extra pass when probably percentage-wise he should have taken that one. All of his shots on the perimeter came off good ball reversal, and those are the kind that he hit 40% last year. Now the trick is that when it looks ugly with him, it looks ugly, right? But I know on one of his misses we got the offensive rebound put back with Jason underneath. I certainly don't go into a game thinking we got to get TK more threes, but I also don't want him completely eliminating that either. There's got to be a happy balance. Today, the ball found his hands 3 times wide open, and on shots that we would define as good shots, he can knock those down.
Throughout the season, you've been saying, as long as you guys are below average 3-point shooting team, you guys can have some success. 29% today, but you have the 29% of offense. Is that kind of your ideal offense, defense?
My ideal offense is we make everything, right?
When you preach
Yeah, I thought particularly in the second half tonight, I thought we got a good mix of everything. And the threes that we hit were big and late for the most part. I mean, our percentage took a quick spike at the end there, but we didn't shoot the ball very well. I did mention at the half to him that we were on pace to shoot 28 threes. We got to 24. That's probably a pretty high number for us. But that's also what they were giving us, and we need to hit a few more than we did. We'll keep working at it. I would have, it was really tough sledding getting it inside with Trey Moses in there for a while. He's a good player. Takes up a lot of space. Him getting into foul trouble allowed us to maybe attack a little more inside, and that helped.
Well, you guys just ended a 2-game homestand. Has this resurgence of an ozone, have you felt that?
Yeah, it's awesome. And you know what? It adds to the enjoyment of the game, I think, for everybody in the building, not just for – I know our guys love it.
We keep it on a Tuesday night, maybe there isn't like 100 people, but there's people standing.
It's a presence, and you don't get that all the time in mid-major basketball, and I'm so appreciative of the fact that our students come out and are engaged in the game. I happen to think, and I'm very biased, that going to college basketball games, going to a football game when you're a student is a fun part of college, and it should be joyful. I hope they all had fun tonight because it was sure fun playing for them, and I hope to have them all back. Bring a friend or a pet or whatever. We just got to fill it up.
How do you take what you've done the last 2 games at home and package it and take it with you to the Tundra on Tuesday night?
The Tundra, I'm going to correct you. The Tundra's in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Okay,
Thank you.
Frozen plain.
Tundra. Anyways, we're playing well. I'm excited to. We certainly feel like we didn't play very well the first time we played Northern Illinois. We got plenty of motivation. Northern obviously has shown that they're a good team. So, listen, this league this year is very good. It just is. We just go out the next night and try to get it done. It's fun. It's a great way to spend a winter.
It's no secret that Gavin Walsh, one of the players you appreciate, maybe more, I don't know, you appreciate him a lot, a great deal. What was it as?
I love all my players except one. No, I mean, that's like saying you love 2 of your 3 kids. I love all my guys.
You appreciate all the little things. What does it feel like to see him hit a shot like that when that hasn't exactly been his MO as college basketball?
Well, and what is really neat about it is, as far as the burning the midnight oil in this gym, as far as fighting through bumps, bruises, in terms of making all the little plays so that other people could have that moment in other games, it seems right, and it seems fitting, and it seems that's the way seniors should play. And I've had bad luck getting my teams old here. We've had things happen where I've got an old guy, and old guys make those plays late. Great moment for him, and again, with all the little things that he does, for him to enjoy a little bit of the spotlight on his back for a little while is terrific.